Previous videos we've thought about a number of strategies and laws and subsidies that Hong Kong government is trying to put into place to manage its air pollution. We've also talked about how Hong Kong generates its electricity, and we've also talked about cooperation with China. So in this video we're going to have a think about traffic congestion patterns, trends and impacts. So it is one thing to actually try to have electric cars. It is one thing to try to have public transportation networks, but what is very useful is if we can optimize those networks, and for that big data really does have a place. So the challenge is, as megacities are increasingly becoming the norm, that data collection and analysis becomes very important. So in mainland China, there is this technical possibility that all citizens can become a real-time data point, and that will enable us to track individual people's journeys. Indeed, if you use an Octopus Card in Hong Kong, which most people do, your journeys are already being checked, and they're being analysed by artificial intelligence, by the MTR, to optimise the train journeys, the number of trains, the frequency of trains, the length of trains, and also in planning new rail networks. So in Hong Kong, you will know that we've had a substantial expansion of our MTR network, exactly deciding where and when to build and extend the MTR network. That does use all of that data that is collected. So here's a video that you can watch which talks about public transport performance, and it talks about the transportation performance index indicators, and that looks at quality of service, reliability and utilization levels. So that uses artificial intelligence really try to optimize the way that we use public transport, make it as convenient as possible, make it customer focused, because there's no point having public transport if people don't use it. If people think that public transport is expensive, dirty, inconvenient or doesn't serve their needs, they will not use it, and they will opt for a private transport, individual cars, which is exactly the thing that we don't want to do. So in this video has two parts, and we're going to go on to think about the impacts of traffic congestion in Hong Kong. And certainly, if you are a Hong Kong citizen, absolutely you do know the impacts of traffic congestion on your quality of life. So here we have real-time data, a snapshot of real-time data, which looks at traffic flows. And this data here that we're seeing here is actually government data from government sensors that is supplemented by Google Maps. What Google Maps does, it does harvest the data from its users. So if you have if you're using Google Maps, or you have in the Google suite of products on your mobile phone, it does actually anonymously track where you are. It's very clever. It knows where you are. It knows if you're in a car. It knows how fast you are traveling, and so that is how Google Maps can give that real-time update on travel times and congestions. You will see several strategies, and certainly if you've travelled out to the new territories along highways, you will see these noise barriers. So traffic noise is also a great annoyance to people that live near roads. So it's not just the pollution, it's the noise as well. So you can see here in this picture that we've got barriers that have been put up. They are to stop the noise disrupting the residents in the high-rise apartments. So noise pollution can be one of those things environmental stresses as a result of traffic that is overlooked. Here we can see some other examples of things we are doing in Hong Kong to reduce that noise pollution. Again, the government collects data about noise pollution, so they'll have microphones mounted on the roadside and microphones mounted near near residential blocks to actually measure and monitor the sound levels, and then there can be a targeted strategy in actually trying to deal with this. There's another video here about one of those emergent technologies. We are starting to see it, and it's seeing where you have where you have elevated highways, actually using those as a green open space, so having a green wall on the elevated platforms. So I'll let you have a look at that video, which suggests using motorways, elevated motorways, as a vertical forests. We are actually starting to do that in Hong Kong, and it has a difference. It does improve air quality. Also, the plants themselves, they're also very, very good at absorbing sound. So this ends the section of videos where we look at urban microclimates and pollution, and we're going to go on to look at the concept of contested land in urban areas.